Hey guys, sorry for the long silence in videos, but hopefully this will make up for one. This is just a quick video. I'm going to be making a throwing axe, as you probably saw by the title of the video. And then I'm going to practice using it for a bit. So, what I've got here is just a nice solid sheet of, I believe it's hardened steel. I'm not entirely sure. It came from a machine shop that was being torn apart. It's nice, I don't know, maybe an 1/8 inch thick. I don't know. Solid, sturdy, and it held up good. This is all from the Atlatl video. If you watch that, you'll know that it failed. However, it's definitely a good video. I had a lot of fun baking it, and this steel was really nice. So I'm going to be using it for the axe. I'm going to cut it out with an angle grinder and a cutting disc, and I'll get back to you once it's out. Now, for those of you who have never used an angle grinder or an angle grinder with a cutting disc, if I can pick it up, unfortunately there's no nice, precise way of doing this. Everything has to be done in lines, so instead of following this curve, you're not going to easily be able to do that with a cutting disc. So it's got to be line, line, line. Everything is in straight lines. And then a lot of this inner stuff here, I'm going to have to either grind out or go in and just little tiny notches. Going to have to go a straight line here, straight line, straight line. Everything is in a straight line with an angle grinder. Then, after you got the angle, once you got it all cut out, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably just going to cut it totally off just to make it a little more, little easier to handle. But once I do that, I'm going to cut it all out and I'll bring you guys back. Just in case you're wondering how I'm doing this, I just have it clamped down with a quick clamp, and I'm just going at it. It's nice and easy, I don't have to hold the metal, and yeah, just nice and easy. Alright, so here's the piece I'll cut out. I have moved my tiny little vise over, so I'm gonna clamp it down to my little vise. Put on a grinding wheel. This is not a cutting wheel, this is a grinding wheel. Very important. You should never grind with a cutting wheel, a cutting disc. It'll totally damage it, and it could potentially flake off and fly and hit you in the eye, or hit you, impale you, hit your friends, whoever's around. It's very dangerous to grind with a cutting wheel. So I am going to switch over to a grinding disc, and after that I am going to switch to my flap disc here, and I am going to clean up the edges. Maybe put my initial bevel on it, and I'll come back to you guys after that. Alright, so here's the axe. I took the sanding wheel to it and that grinder, gave it its bevel, gave it its edge. It's not incredibly sharp, but it's a throwing item, so it does not have to be. It's just going to be sticking into wood. It's very easy to hold. I might take this back a little just because of its position, but I can get a good hold on it. Throws nicely, it's nice and straight, everything's in line with what needs to be. There's little holes in it, they were just from the plate I cut it out in. It's nothing structurally compromising. So, when I made this, I was practicing. You can see there's a little bit of red in what I was throwing it into. I was practicing with it. But it was really boring only having one thing to throw than having to go get it each time and losing your spot and etc, etc. So, off camera, I came up with this. Just this nice simple little throwing knife. I made it out of this piece of ribbon stock. Not entirely sure its dimensions, but my thumb can give you any kind of measurement. It's just about as thick as my thumb, maybe an inch. Maybe an inch wide, I don't know, 1/4 inch thick, and it comes in varying lengths. Well, I had a piece laying around, so I made this throwing knife out of it, and it works really well. I've had to redo the edge, or I've had to redo the point. I had to redo the point because I messed it up and it got too thin, and then it started bending. So I still got to tweak this one. As you can see, it's a little off center, but I'm going to tweak this one, and I'm going to make another one out of this piece. It's a little wider, I'm going to make it a little longer. Hopefully it'll just be a little better quality of one. It's same dimensions, only it's about twice as wide, maybe 1.5 times. Yeah, 1.5 times wide, so maybe 1.5 inches. Oh, actually, hold on. Yeah. Looks like it all wore off. Yeah, it's an 1/8 inch thick and 36 millimeters wide, maybe. Alright, but if this will refocus, these are my parts. I'm going to make my third knife out of this, and I'll document that along the way as well. Alright, so there's the pattern I'm going to go with. It's relatively the same length, just a hair longer, only it's going to be much wider, so hopefully it's going to be a little heavier, so it'll hit the wood with a little more force. Then I'm going to take my cutting wheel, cut it off here, start grinding away the handle. I guess before that I'll cut most of this material off to save on grinding, but it's fairly simple to do. I'll try and set up a time lapse for you guys so you can see it. Alright, so here's the piece that has been roughly cut out. I'm going to switch to my grinding disc, flat disc. I'm going to swap between those and put some final, the actual, shape of it in. Alright, and it's done. I just gave it a few test throws, and it seems to be holding up good. So I'm going to go outside and practice with them now. Unfortunately, I do not have the recording equipment to show you guys. However, hopefully soon I will be getting an actual recording device and a decent tripod for it. So maybe I'll make a how to throw weapons video. But for now, this is what it is. I also found these two pieces of scrap. So I'm going to turn them into, this one's probably going to be, it's probably going to have an edge here, definitely an edge here, and it's going to be some kind of throwing axe thing. And then this one's going to be a small double-pointed throwing knife. But nothing's new. It's just going to be the same process that I use for all of them. So I'm going to make them. I'll give you guys some snapshots of them when I'm done. And I hope you enjoyed the video.